man has shocked the world by attacking the Russian Empire. Their goal is simple, a warm water port. Can they do it? The siege of Port Arthur. We have the Russian Empire holed up in the trenches above, ready to defend this great warm water port against the mighty Japanese. They have already landed their troops, ready to commence a mighty attack. We got the Japanese immediately firing first shot. Japanese, Russians are shooting at one another. Oh my goodness, Japanese cannon is just hit directly, blowing up some of the Japanese. The Russians are getting hit. Oh my goodness, that man just got hit by a wagon wheel. Now, inside the town directly, it looks like the Russians have fallen. The Japanese are bringing much needed reinforcements to the front. Back to the main battle. The Japanese are dodging bullets. This is insane. The Russians, they are unprepared. They need more reinforcement. The Japanese are completely overwhelming them. The Japanese are commencing a charge. They're charging the trenches. The Russians are being blown apart right now. Oh my goodness. But the Russians, still fortified on their hill, are taking hot shot. The Japanese have taken the first trench and are charging up the hill. The Russians have dug in and are shooting whatever they can against the Japanese. They're taking a flank charge up the hill. The Japanese have fired some of their artillery. Oh my goodness. It looks like whatever the heck this is, the Japanese are going to take the hill. But the Russians are ready to dig in. This is just the beginning. The Russians have fallen back to better defensive line. They've dug into the frozen hills of Manchuria. The Japanese have been absolutely relentless. They know time is not on their side. If they even delay for a moment, the Russians could get more reinforcement. Maybe the Russians will hang on. The Japanese are making their charge. Charging up the hill. The Russians are being taken out. A few Russians have went down. Looks like the Japanese cannon have directly hit the Russians on top of the hill. The Japanese are making a charge up the right flank. The Russians are terrified. They're actually holding the line. More Japanese are making their way up the hill, but in the middle, they still have a cannon fully operational. The Russians have lost the middle. All of the men in the middle have been taken out. The right flank of the Japanese are charging, and it looks like one of the last trenches on the front line are either about to fall. Oh my goodness, they're taking them out. Absolute insane fight on the right flank right now. The Japanese are fighting for their lives. The Russians have dug in. This is insane. It looks like the Japanese are starting to overwhelm them. A fight between the Russians. This man is just aiming at him. No way. He's still alive. Oh, they're fighting mano-a-mano in this trench. That was a brutal battle. The Japanese have made it up the middle, but there are still Russian secret weapons on top of this hill. That will delay the Japanese advance. The Japanese have a few troops left. The Japanese are struggling to climb up this hill. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was brutal. The Russian machine gunner is still alive. Oh my goodness, is he going to take a shot? The Japanese have gotten stuck on this hill. One of them is coming over. Multiple men are shooting at the machine gunner. There we go. The Japanese have somehow pushed up the hill. The Japanese resolve grows stronger. The Russians have sent their entire fleet to fight the Japanese. Let's see if the Russians change history. The Japanese are taking hits. They're shooting at the Cossacks for the Russians. This is a melee fight. Here we go. He kicked him off the ship. The Russians are freaking drop kicking them. So many Russians just fell off the ship into the ocean below. The Russian officer has no idea what's coming. Japanese are taking hits, but they have reinforcements on the way. If the Japanese lose this, I don't know what's gonna happen next. But don't worry, the what in the heck are they doing? Oh my goodness, this is an insane close range fight. There's no way. It looks like the Japanese are weakened. The Russians have an equal amount of troops. What is going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen? This is so close. Oh my goodness. Oh, the Japanese are taking so many hits. This is insane. Dang, this is so close. Oh my gosh, that was so close. The largest battle before the First World War is here. Both sides have brought their best. After a crushing Russian defeat at the sea, the Russians dug in a large defensive position, ready to hold against the Japanese on the other side. The Japanese are charging. They have already taken out the Russian cavalry. It was absolutely obliterated. Oh, the Russians just got rocked in the trenches. This is insane. The Russian artillery is firing directly at the Japanese. Oh my goodness, this is insane. Oh, there it was. So many shots are going off for the Russians. They have their spears. They are charging whatever the cost. They are about to go over the trenches. Artillery is firing. The Russians are being knocked out of the trenches, being bounced around. On the very right flank, the Japanese have brutalized the Russian expeditionary force, and the Japanese have reached the trenches. There's so many more coming. The Japanese heavy troops are destroying the Russian center. It is absolutely brutal. There's so many Russians just absolutely getting obliterated. The Russians are down to just a limited amount of men. The Japanese are coming over the trenches. They're actually shooting the remainder of the right flank. The right flank has been the battle to decide the fate of this war. The left flank is now all that holds on for the Russian. They are holding the line, but the Japanese are coming. They are in the trench lines. The Russians are being blown apart, fighting for their life. The Russians, they fought them on the sea, they fought them on the land, and yet they are defeated. An unlikely power emerges victorious, and the birth of the Japanese Empire.